Hi guys, this is me again. Pack Tribe. Chlor United, we're in this together. Okay, so we're gonna review a little bit from the previous years that you've had. And there's these things in a math problem called terms. And terms are the individual parts, like the little number parts, like the 7x is a term. The x is a term. The -9 is a term. So they're all, so math problems are made up of all these terms. And how do you decide what's a term? And so I always think about it that terms are separated by kind of like pluses and minuses, but every number has a plus or a minus. And so every time you get a new plus sign or new minus sign, that's the start of a new term. And so when I talk to you about these terms, so see how 7 doesn't really have a sign in front of it? That's because that would look weird. You don't put a plus sign in the front, and if it's missing a sign, that's the only sign that it can be. It can only be a plus sign. So that 7x is really a positive 7x. And if you can't remember that, then put you a little positive sign right in front of it so that you can remember it. That's a positive 7x. That in itself is a term. And notice I got to this next plus sign, remember? That's going to be the start of another term. So this is going to be a term. And as soon as you hit another plus or minus sign, bam, that's going to be a term. So you can see that this problem is made up of 3 separate terms. And remember, each term has a plus or a minus sign, and it belongs to that number. So this minus sign really belongs to that 9. So you would call this a -9. And so it's kind of like the minus and the negative are kind of interchangeable-ish. Okay, so let me erase this a minute. Oh, not all that. Lord help. Let me just go backwards, and I don't have to erase it. Okay, now, if you notice, of those 3 terms that I had just circled, 2 of them have something in common. Do you see that 2 of them have something in common? What do you notice about some of those terms? Yes, they both have x's. So what I like to do is I like to go grab these terms with different little circly marks. Like sometimes I'll use a circle. So I know that this positive 7x and this positive x belong together. Now, if this is a 7 and this is there's no coefficient. Remember, we talked coefficient is the number in front of the variable. This one doesn't have a coefficient, but there are 7 x's here. How many x's are here? There is a 1. So it's given, it's understood that there is a 1 in front of that x. And so if you don't remember it, just like that positive sign, there's all those little things that are there, and they're just kind of understood. So if I were to combine those and put them in one big pile, and I had 7 x's sitting here, and I had 1 x sitting here, and I combined them, how many x's would we have now if we put them all in one big pile? You would have 8 x's. Now, why did I not take that -9 and shove them into that pile? What's it missing? It's missing an x, and you can't put it in the same pile. So this becomes its own pile. And since it doesn't combine with anything, you have to leave it like that. I kind of like think about it like laundry. I have a basket of towels. You don't make stuff with towels because all that towel-y stuff gets on the laundry. And then I have a load of whites and I have a load of darks because you don't want the colors to bleed all together or to get those towel-y things all over your t-shirts. This just makes me crazy. So these, they're still 2 piles because this has an X on it. it doesn't mix with this naked number. So terms become like terms when they have the exact same letters. The letters are what make the terms alike, and they have to be exactly the same letter. So if we simplify that, and simplify just kind of see, we went from 3 terms to 2 terms. That's a little bit more simpler. That's why it's called simplify. Now, the other day we were solving, but we don't have an equals sign, and so therefore we can't find out what x equals because we don't know what that whole expression equals. So we're stuck. We can't do anymore. It's as simple as it can be. As low as you go. As low as you go. Oh, I'm back. Okay. So here's step number 2. Here's number 2. Write this down. Write this one down. I'll give you a second to write it down. Write that down. 5x minus 1 minus 7x plus 4. And so a lot of times, if you had colored pencils, take them out. Make them different colors. Sometimes you don't have colored pencil. We're just stuck with ugly, pencil colored color. And so what I do is I will use different ways. Sometimes I'll use little cloudy circles. Sometimes I'll use regular circles. Sometimes I'll use a box. So whatever I'm going to go through. So like I always start with circles because that's just what I'm used to. So if I go through here and I'm looking, and the first term is 5x. So I'm going to circle it. Now, I want to circle all the other terms that look like that one. Now remember, what am I looking for to see which ones look like 5x? I'm looking for all the other terms that have one single x in them. So this is a 5x, that's a -1. I don't want -1. -1, what's it missing? Does not have an x. I'm not taking it in the circle. But -7x. What's it have? It has an x. So now, a lot of people want to stop right here and start circling, but look, keep it going. That's a -7x. And then we have a +4. Can't take it. Don't you circle that one. That is a +4. That's a naked 4. Has no letters on it. All right, so I'm going to combine those two and make one pile of x's. So I have a +5 and I have a -7. Pay attention to that negative sign. They will bite you all the time. All right, -5 minus 7. So that means I have -2x. And then my next pile is going to be the number pile. So see my little cloudy ones? And remember, every number gets a sign. That negative belongs to that 1. This is not just a 4. This is a +4. So if I take those little cloudy circles, a -1 and a +4, that would make a +3. -2x +3. Simplified. I went from 4 terms to 2 terms. What makes these able to go in that pile? They both have a single letter x. Why do I put -1 and 4 in a pile? Because they're both naked numbers, which means they don't have a letter. That's it. All right, what do you think about those? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. All right, you ready? Here's some more. I'm gonna let you write that one down. I'm gonna write this one down. Write this one down. Hide this one. Ow! That's wolf for wolf pack. Did you get that written down yet? Write that one down. All right, did you get it written down? Get it written down? Okay, good. All right, so let's use our handy dandy combiner here. And I start with the first term. I always circle the first term and then I go circle all the other ones that look like it. So if I circle the first term and it is a 9x. Now I know all these letters are X. They don't have to be, it could be any letter in the alphabet. X just seems to be the most normal one. All right, so 9x. Then I have a plus 8. Can I circle that one? No, exactly. Why not? Because it doesn't have x on it. Exactly. It does not have an x on it, so I cannot take that 8. So let's look at the next term. What's the next term? Positive 3. Yes, positive 3. X. Here we go. Wow. Circle it. Why was I allowed to circle it? I'm allowed to circle it because it has an X on it. What's the next term? Negative 2. Can I circle it? No way, Jose, because it does not have an X on it. Don't circle that one. So, since I'm done through, I have 4 terms. I've circled 2 of them. Let's now combine them in the same pile. I have 9x plus 3x. That makes 12x. All right, let's go back through. Go get the next term that's not already been taken. And this is a naked 8. This is naked 8. So, already got, so this one's gone, and this one's gone. So now I have a naked 8 and a naked negative 2. You notice how I'm taking the sign. Everything is accounted for in that sentence. Every term has a sign. All right, so now I have positive 8 minus 2. What's that equal? Would be plus 6. Bam. Did we simplify it? Yes, we did. We went from 4 terms to 2 terms. We can't solve it. There's no equal sign. This is all about simplifying an expression. All right. What do you think about that? Got some lemons going on? All right. So, again on this one, let's go put some little squirrely marks around the first term. Negative 2x. Notice that number has a sign this time. I'm busting a rhyme right there. All right, negative 2x. Let's go see if we have any. What other terms are we looking for? What should all the terms have if we're going to circle them this first go round? We're going to have an x on them. So let's look at the next term. Positive 8x. Take it. Yep, we like it. Take it. What about negative 6? Should we take a naked negative 6? No, naked negative 6, that's hard to say. It's hard to say. Naked negative 6. No, we're not taking it because it doesn't have an X on it. There's no variable on it, so I can't take it this first go round. Can I take that positive 9? No, can't take that positive 9 because what's it missing? It doesn't have an X. Don't take it. All right, so my first go around, I have a negative 2 and a positive 8. That makes 6x. All right, let's go get the next. Got it. Oh, got it. Negative 6. Take it. Every number gets a sign. Negative 6 gets to go. What about positive 9? Positive 9 gets to go. Well, if you had negative 6 and a positive 9, you add all together in one big pile, you'd have a positive 3. There we go. What do you think? Like terms, they have to have the same what? Letter. The letter parts have to match. And the numbers, in order to put them together, can't have a letter. They're just called naked numbers. All right, what do you think? All right. Have fun today, combining like terms, simplifying an expression.